My name is Norbert Kalai, and all I've ever wanted was freedom. What's going on, you guys? I'm Norbert Kalai, and you're watching Finance Fridays. On the last episode, we took a deep dive into low-cost index funds. On this episode, I'm going to tell you how we can use these funds to reach financial independence, the shockingly simple math behind early retirement, and the power of compound interest. So, grab a coffee and a calculator. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe as I show you the simple path to wealth. Fuck yeah. Now that we've started saving for our future, how will we know when we've saved enough? When will we be truly financially free? Or do we just mindlessly follow the herd and work until we're 65? Trinity University conducted a study that used over 100 years of stock market data. This includes all of the bull markets, bear markets, recessions, and pandemics. Their goal? To determine how much money you would need in order to be financially free. The study, now known as the Trinity Study, determined that a portfolio consisting of low-cost index funds that averaged 7% ROI could successfully sustain a 4% safe withdrawal rate when compared against every 30-year period in history. So what does this mean? If you were to invest into low-cost index funds, like the ones recommended on the last episode, which average normally between 7 and 10%, but we'll use 7% just to be safe, and you took into consideration inflation or the devaluation of your money, which normally ranges between 2 to 3%, we'll go 3% just to be safe. That 7% rate of return minus the 3% for inflation would leave you with the remaining 4% to safely withdraw. Think of this as saving up enough money to buy a money machine. Your cash stash would stay intact, yet you'd be able to live off just the growth in dividends from your portfolio. So, how much do you think this money machine would cost? Most people overestimate the cost of retirement. They work much longer than they need to. A formula was created to help you determine what your financial independence number is. When looking at the 4% rule, we only require two things: our annual expenses. If you don't have your annual expenses, track your finances for 1 month and multiply those expenses by 12 to get your annual expenses. Then multiply this number by 25. Once you've multiplied this number by 25, you will have your financial independence number. This should help give you confidence to pull the trigger and activate your financial independence. So as an example, in 2019, I tracked all of my expenses for the entire year. In that year, I determined that me and my wife had spent $40,000. $40,000 of annual expenses multiplied by 25 would give me $1 million. If I had $1 million invested into low-cost index funds, that generated a 7% rate of return, but took into consideration the devaluation of my money, the 3% for inflation, I would be left with the remaining 4% to safely withdraw. The 4% or $40,000 growing off the investments would replace the money that I require from my employer. I would be able to buy back life's most precious resource, my time. Mind you, the 4% rule is just an assumption. It's a guide to help determine how much money you would require in order to be financially independent. Once you create a budget, track your expenses, and pay down wealth-killing debt, you'll be able to determine what your annual expenses are. Once multiplied by 25, you will have your financial independence number. Now that we have a definitive number and the knowledge behind us on how to invest, we can now start taking action. But how do you save $1 million? Here's the secret. You don't. Albert Einstein referred to compound interest as the eighth wonder of the world and the most powerful force in the universe. So, what is compound interest? Compound interest is putting your money to work for you so you don't have to work for your money. Every dollar that you invest has the ability to make money, and the money that money makes also has the ability to make money. Until eventually, that snowball has grown to become so large that you no longer have to trade your time for a wage. Your investments will help you produce the funds that you require in order to live your life. If we're thinking about compound interest as a recipe, you only require two ingredients: time and money. If you were to invest $100 with an ROI of 10%, at the end of the year you would finish with $110. The original $100 investment with the $10 of growth. If you did not invest any more money the following year, however, you got the same 10% ROI, how much money would you have the following year? $10? No, you would actually have $11 more. Why? Well, you would get the 10% on the original $100 as well 10% on the $10 of growth. Now, if we were to continue this model for 25 years off your original $100 investment with no further contributions, your portfolio would be worth $10,800. Now let's use this example that by investing early and often, small amounts of money today could grow to become serious wealth in the future. So I'm going to head over to MoneyChimp.com and click on their compound calculator. I'm going to start off with a current balance of $0, but we're going to invest $15,000 every year for 25 years. This is going to grow at 7%. How much do you think we'll have after 25 years? $1 million. Remember, you only supplied $15,000 for those 25 years, so your actual contributions is $375,000. The other $625,000, that is a gift of compound interest. This is why most people fail at personal finance. In the early stages of their life, they spend all of their money on clothes, cars, food and alcohol, and just random stuff, instead of buying thousands of businesses wrapped up into one fund, like low-cost index funds, trading assets for liabilities. They never start thinking about investing until they're in their 40s and 50s. They forget about compound interest's most important ingredient: time. Time for your money to grow and become the money machine that will help support the 4% rule. Not investing early comes with a price. That same person from our previous example that saved $15,000 a year for 25 years to end up with a portfolio of $1 million, they would have to save $38,000 annually if they started 10 years later. Wait another 5 years, that same person to reach $1 million would have to save $70,000 per year. Yeah, good luck. Mr. Money Mustache, the fire goat himself, wrote an article, The Shockingly Simple Math Behind Early Retirement, on his blog. In this article, he talks about the correlation between your savings rate and the number of years that you have to work. Financial advisors would recommend that you save 10% of your take-home salary and that you would be good. Yeah, if you like working 50 years of your life. Those same financial advisors would recommend that you invest into mutual funds that have hidden fees of 1 to 3%, extending that working sentence to life. But by using the chart off of Mr. Money Mustache's blog, you can see that by increasing your savings rate to 50%, you would only need to work 17 years to reach financial independence. By being smart and intentional with your money, you could buy back 33 years of your life. By going to MoneyChimp.com and using their compound calculator, you can determine how much you would need to save to reach your financial independence number. This isn't guesswork or hopeful thinking. It's math. And You can't argue with math. So remember, the earlier you start, the less overall you have to save. So don't wait for next week, next month, or next decade. Start investing today. You don't have to wait till age 65 to retire. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. And you don't have to let money control your life. Financial independence and early retirement are very real. Just because your friends, your family, and your social circle haven't activated doesn't mean it's impossible. Millions of people from around the world are throwing out that average script and buying back decades of their life. I myself am en route to be financially independent before the age of 40. Life is an adventure, and you need to choose how you want to live yours. Do you chase material objects that make you look rich but actually keep you poor? Or do you use the power of compound interest and low-cost index funds to take back control of your financial life? I've made my choice, but have you consciously made yours? In the next 2 episodes of Finance Fridays, I'm going to tell you why real estate investing is the best and the worst investment you can make. All this and more next time, right here on Finance Fridays.